Hello my dear students, and welcome back to the chemical kinetics chapter. So students, in the previous class we have discussed about half-life period of a reaction, and we have discussed that in detail regarding the zero order reaction and first order reaction. Okay, now today's concept is called as collision theory. Okay, so as the title itself is telling you, it is a concept that is going to discuss about collision. Now when we were discussing about the molecularity of a reaction, there what we have defined molecularity as, molecularity is the number of reacting species that must collide in order to give the product, isn't it? So see, in any reaction, if the product has to be formed, then the reactant molecules must collide, then only the product will be formed. Okay, so that is what basically it is telling. Okay, so the collision theory was proposed by Arrhenius, and later it was developed by Max Strauss and Lewis. Okay, in simple words, if I have to tell you what is the collision theory is telling, the reacting molecules must collide in order to form product. Okay, see here I have taken a general reaction wherein two reactant molecules are there, A and B. When they collide, they form an intermediate. Intermediate means which is not the complete reactant, which is not even the complete product. It is in between state between reactants and product, and that we call it as activated complex. Okay, later this activated complex, which is highly unstable one, this will dissociate, giving you the product. Okay, so I'll repeat again, what the reactant molecules are colliding. Okay, and when they collide, they will form an unstable species called as activated complex. This activated complex will dissociate, giving you the products. Okay, now collisions occurring per second per unit volume is called as a frequency factor. What is this frequency factor? Let me give you an example. Means, see here, per unit volume. See, here we are saying that per unit volume. What is mean by per unit volume? Unit may be liters or ml, whatever you are taking. Per unit, 1 unit you have to fix. So suppose if I am taking, see, 100 ml of water, okay, or 100 ml of reacting mixture I have taken. How many collisions are occurring between the reactant molecules per second is called as frequency factor, and frequency factor is denoted by the symbol capital Z. Okay, so what is frequency factor? Frequency factor means number of collisions occurring per second per unit volume. I can take it in ml or I can take it in liter also. What is the unit that you are fixing? That. Then, so as we know that for a reaction to give rise to product, the reactant molecules must collide. See, but only the collision is enough. Let us see that. Okay, reactants, in order to form products, they must overcome two barriers. Two barriers means what? Let us say two obstacles. Okay, simply if the reactant molecules are colliding and they will give product, no, it is not as simple as that. Okay, so even though the reactant molecules must collide, along with the colliding there are two more obstacles are there that the collision must overcome. What are those? One is energy and another is a proper orientation. There are two obstacles are there. One is energy obstacle and second one is proper orientation. So let us see the first obstacle, that is energy barrier. Okay, or energy obstacle we can say. See, here what I have done is I have plotted a graph of energy versus fraction of molecules. Fraction of molecules means how many, see, in a reaction mixture, energy of all the reactant molecules will not be the same. See, here I have plotted a graph. So here you can see there are three phases. One is, see, here energy is increasing this way, so these molecules are having high energy. These molecules are having high energy, and most of the molecules are having what? They will be having average energy, and very least number of molecules, that is this part, will be showing that reactant molecules are having less energy. Okay, as there are three type of when considering energy as a factor, so based on energy the reactant molecules can be categorized into three ways. That is, reactant molecules are having high energy, and second one is reactant molecules having average energy, or we can call it as average internal energy or kinetic energy, all the same. Okay, average energy, and the last one is reactant molecules having low energy. Okay, so fraction amount in total number of reacting molecules, fraction amount of molecules are having different energies. Okay, so as different type of reactant molecules of different energies are present, see, not all the reactant molecules colliding will give you product. Why? Because their energies are different. Okay, only those collisions which give rise to product are called as effective collisions. See, in a reaction mixture, see, there are number of collisions are happening. Okay, but not all the collisions are giving you product. Only certain number of collisions are giving you product, and those only those collisions which will form the product are called as what? Effective collision, and all other collisions are called as ineffective collisions. I hope you are understanding it. What is effective collisions? See, in a reaction mixture, there are so many collisions are happening. Only those collisions which are giving you product are called as effective collisions, and all other the collisions which are not giving you product are called as ineffective collisions. Next, this is very important. That is, see, the minimum amount of energy that the reactant molecules must have to give product is called as a threshold energy. So what it is? See, there are number of reactant molecules are there. Okay, and energy of these reactant molecules are different, but in order to form the product there will be minimum requirement of energy. Means only if this much of energy is there with you, with you means reactant molecules, only those reactant molecules which are having energy, there is certain minimum amount of energy for the reaction to happen. Only those reactant molecules which are having that energy, when they collide, only they will give you product. Okay, so there is certain energy. Only if that energy is reached, then only product will be formed. Okay, so that minimum amount of energy that the reactant molecules must have is called as threshold energy. Now, looking into the graph, you can clearly see that only there are few molecules that they will be having high energy. Means they will be having energy equal to threshold energy, or they may be having a higher threshold energy, higher than threshold energy. So what will happen when you mix the reactant molecules? In the beginning, only certain amount of product will be formed. Why? Because very few amount of reactant molecules will be having that threshold energy. Most of the molecules are having what? Average energy. What it is? Most of the molecules are having average energy, and few fraction of the molecules are having lower energy. Okay, so now what we have to do is, see, at STP, means at standard temperature and pressure, energy of reactant molecules is called as average energy or average internal energy. Now we represent it by EAVG, means average energy. Okay, means this, most of the molecules are having average energy. Okay, the extra energy that must be supplied to the molecules with average energy or average internal energy to overcome or to become equal with threshold energy is called as activation energy. Means, see, the amount of energy that we must supply to these molecules so that they will have energy equal to, or they may be having higher energy than threshold energy, then they will give rise to product. So that extra energy that we are supplying is called as what? Activation energy. And this is very important, students. This is very important. That is activation energy. what is activation energy? The minimum amount of extra energy that we must supply to the reactant molecules having average energy is to overcome the threshold energy or to become equivalent to threshold energy is called as activation energy, and it is represented by EA. So overall what we can say, threshold energy is equal to activation energy plus average internal energy or average energy. I hope you are understanding it. So we can mathematically represent it as ET is equal to EA plus E average. Now how do we calculate activation energy of a reaction then? See, there are three factors. See, always in the mathematical equation there will be 2, 3, 4, 5 factors will be present. If you have to calculate one factor, rest of the factors has to be known. Okay, in some of the numericals they will give you activation energy and average energy, and they might ask you what is the threshold energy, or most of the time they will ask you what is activation energy, and they will be giving you threshold energy and average energy they will be giving you. Then how to calculate the activation energy? So activation energy is equal to threshold energy minus average energy. So in this way you can calculate the activation energy. So this is regarding the first obstacle, that is energy. Okay, so I'll repeat, that is what see, not all the collisions happening in a reaction mixture will give you product. Only those collisions which are giving you product are called as effective collisions. Okay, then the minimum amount of energy that the reactant molecules must have in order to give you product is called as threshold energy. Okay, if the reactant molecules are not having energy equal to threshold energy, then they will not give rise to product. Okay, as most of the reactant molecules will be having average energy at standard temperature and pressure, we have to supply some extra energy so that the energy of these reactant molecules having average energy will become equal to threshold energy. So that minimum amount of energy that we have supplied is called as activation energy. Okay, so and this is how we calculate the threshold energy and activation energy. Okay, now we will move on to the second factor, that is proper orientation. So students, we were discussing about the two barriers or the two obstacles that the reacting molecules must overcome, and in that was the first is energy barrier. Now see, already we know what is meant by threshold energy and activation energy. In competitive examination point of view, what they will be asking is that for a reaction, if the activation energy is higher, what about the rate of the reaction, or whether the reaction is slower or faster? Just use your common sense. If you have to supply more amount of energy and then the product are forming, then definitely the reaction is slower. See, you have to supply the energy means it may be any form, like you may have to heat the reaction for long time. Why you have to heat the reaction for longer time? Because activation energy is higher. So if the activation energy is higher, then reaction will be slower, or a rate of the reaction will be low. Okay, and in contrast, if the activation energy is very less, then the reaction is faster. Why? Because only a small amount of heat you supply, or if you keep it in the sunlight, then the reaction is occurring by itself. That means what? The energy of activation is less, therefore the reaction will be faster, or the rate of the reaction will be higher. Okay, then comes concept of transition state theory. What is this transition state theory is, which is going to explain about the activated complex or reaction intermediate. What did you see? Here I have taken a reactant wherein reactant A is reacting with 2 moles of reactant B. So what's happening when these two having threshold energy, when these two combine, then there is a formation of this intermediate, or we even call it as activated complex. It is as such that, see, old bonds are breaking. What is happening? Old bonds will break and a new formation of the bond will take place. Then as I have already said that this is highly unstable. It is highly unstable. So highly unstable means old bond will break, new bonds will be formed, and that immediately give rise to what? Product. Okay, so activated complex or reaction intermediate refers to what? Which is, see, the configuration of activated complex. Configuration means the structure. Okay, the structure of the activated complex is not completely look as the reactant, or not it will look at the product. It is in between that of reactant and product. Okay, so configuration of the activated complex or a reaction intermediate is in between that of reactant and product molecules. Okay, now the graphical representation of a chemical reaction. How do we understand what is meant by threshold energy, activation energy? Okay, see, graphically we can understand it very clearly. So here what I have done, we have plotted a graph of energy versus a reaction path. Some textbook they will say that progress of a reaction means how the reaction, as the time is increasing, how the reaction is proceeding. Okay, so here see what I have done is reactant, that is I have written A plus 2B, is having certain amount of energy. Okay, so at this normal temperature and pressure, or standard temperature and pressure, they are having average energy, means already all the reactant molecules will be having minimum energy. So this is the minimum energy that the reactant molecules are having. But in order to form this product, they have to have energy called as a threshold energy, isn't it? So which is higher than the average energy of reactant molecules, isn't it? So if the product has to form, then the energy of reactant molecules must overcome threshold energy. So how do they overcome threshold energy? We have to supply some extra energy, that we call it as activation energy. So the difference between threshold energy and average energy of reactant molecules is called as activation energy. So here we can clearly understand the difference between activated energy and threshold energy. So once we supply the energy, they will, that is activation energy. When these reactant molecules are activated, they will reach energy called as threshold energy. At threshold energy, they will form activated complex or reaction intermediate. So this will be unstable, so this will immediately dissociate, giving you the product. Now the energy of the product is lower than that of reactant. Okay, because stable, they are very stable. In most of the reactions, products are more stable than the reactant, so the energy of the product is lower than the reactant. Okay, so here are the products. Okay, now the difference between the energy of product molecules and reactant molecules is called as enthalpy of the reaction. It is called as enthalpy of the reaction. So this graph is very important. So here what is the delta H? Delta H represents the difference between the energy of product molecules and reactant molecules. In other words, it represents the enthalpy of the reaction or heat of the reaction. Okay, then here this is very important when it comes to competitive examination point of view, students. That is activation energy and reversible energy. What do you mean by reversible energy? Reversible reaction. What do you mean by reversible reaction? Means after some time the reaction will be attaining equilibrium. Equilibrium means at that stage number of reactant molecules getting converted into product will be equal to number of product molecules are getting converted into reactant. Reversible means this sign, at least you can understand that. Okay, that is A plus B, this symbol. If AB are reacting and giving you C plus D, when the equilibrium state is reached, number of reactant molecules getting converted into product will be equal to number of product molecules getting converted into reactant. So energy of activation and reversible reaction, that we have to study. Okay, if the reaction is exothermic, then what will happen? See, exothermic means what? When you mix the reactant molecules, reacting species, when you mix them, energy will be liberated. For example, when you mix acid and base, what will happen? Salt and water will be formed. Okay, so at that time heat will be evolved. Okay, then in those reaction what will be happening, the same graph will be plotting, that is energy versus reaction paths. See, in exothermic reactions, why energy is liberated, that we can understand it here. Okay, so as in case of exothermic reactions, the energy of the product molecules will be lower than the energy of reactant molecules. So when we take the difference between these two, so enthalpy of the reaction or heat of the reaction is equal to activation energy for the forward reaction. So this is your forward reaction, reactants are getting converted into product. So look at that, this is called as activation of F refers to forward reaction. So in order to forward reaction, so heat of the reaction is equal to activation energy for the forward reaction minus activation energy for the backward reaction. Now what is backward reaction? Backward reaction means products getting converted into reactants. Now if you look at the path, means what is the energy of activation for backward reaction? Look, from here to here they have to reach, that is higher energy. Okay, for forward reaction if you look, reactants are here, so energy gap is less. So when you take that, it will be negative. I hope you are understanding it. Okay, simple thing is it. Next, endothermic reaction. What do you mean by endothermic? Heat will be absorbed. It means what? The product molecules are not stable, but as we want the product, we are supplying more energy and creating the products. So here it will be reverse of this. So what's happening here, the energy of reactant is very low and the energy of product molecules will be higher. So now see, look now, energy for the forward reaction or activation energy for the forward reaction is very large, and activation energy for the backward reaction means product molecules getting converted into reactant molecules is less. Okay, therefore heat of reaction is equal to activation energy for forward reaction minus activation energy for backward reaction, that will be is equal to positive. Okay, so be prepared for these such type of questions in the competitive examination. Okay, now we will move on to the second obstacle, that is orientation, and also we will study now in short we have to finish this collision theory, that we call it as postulates of the collision theory. The last concept in collision theory is proper orientation. What is meant by proper orientation, or only the word orientation means they have to come in a proper direction. They should be, the reactant molecule should be rotating in a proper way. If they are not rotating in a proper way, what will happen, that we will see. See, here I have written that even though the reactant molecules are having a threshold energy, but if they are not properly orienting, then the formation of product delays. It delays. I am not saying that product will be not formed, it will be delayed, means after some time they might properly rotate or orient and product will be formed. Why? Because they are having threshold energy. Okay, so let us take one example so that you can understand. First we will look into this, we will get a proper idea. See, here the reaction is H2 and I2, hydrogen molecules and iodine molecules must collide in order to give you hydrogen iodide. See, the upper one is hydrogen molecules which are smaller in size and iodine molecules are larger in size. So if this is the proper orientation, this is proper orientation, hydrogen molecules and iodine molecules are properly oriented, then what will happen? See here, this thing, hydrogen bond and iodine bond, this will break, then you will get, this is one HI molecule and this is another HI molecule. Okay, if they are not orienting properly, look at this. Okay, here one hydrogen, one iodine, they are not properly oriented. They are not properly oriented. When they are not properly oriented, what will happen? Simply they will collide, even though they are having threshold energy, but they are not properly oriented. What will happen? The bonds here, the bond will not break. Here the bond will not break, so simply they will collide and this will move this side, this will move this side. Simple collision will take place and nothing will happen. So if they are oriented properly, here I'll write proper orientation. So proper orientation. So only when the reacting molecules are having proper orientation, then only the product forms. Otherwise, there is no formation of product. Okay. Then here is one standard reaction. You might have studied this. Okay. So what will happen here? See, hydroxy ion is there, and this is what? Methyl bromide ion is there. Okay. Even see, as bromine is electronegative, it will withdraw electrons from carbon, so it is slightly negative in charge, and hydroxyl ion is also negative in charge. Okay. Now if they are not oriented properly, what will happen? See, what is happening in the first case, what's happening here? See, if both the negative charges are approaching, then obviously like charges will be repel each other. So if the hydroxyl ion, if it is approaching the straight direction wherein the bromide ion is there, then repulsion will take place, and simply, even not the collision, they will repel each other simply, and the product will not be formed. If the hydroxyl ion approaches this ion from the back side, which we call it as even hypso attack. Okay, if it approaches from the back side, then see here a formation of new bond will take place, and this old bond will break. Okay, so this is your activated complex. Okay, this is your activated complex. So now the orientation is proper, then only you will get the product. So remember students, there are two factors that the reacting molecules must be colliding. One, the colliding reactant molecules must have threshold energy, and second one is reacting molecules having threshold energy must be oriented properly. Okay, so now overall so far what we have studied the collision theory, that we will represent in terms of postulates of the collision theory. Okay, let us look into the postulates of the collision theory. First one, that is saying what? The reacting molecules must collide to give products. Okay. Second one, only those collisions which will give rise to product are called as effective collisions, and rest are called as ineffective collisions. Third one, at standard temperature and pressure, reactant molecules energy is called as average energy or average internal energy. How do we represent? EAVG. Next, reactant molecules in order to give product must have which energy? They must have threshold energy. Then the extra energy that must be supplied to the reacting molecules having average energy, so that their energy becomes equal to threshold energy, is called as activation energy. We represented by EA. Okay, then the last one is reactant molecules having a threshold energy must orient properly to give product. Another postulates that we can add here, that I will write it here. Final conclusion, this is that rate of the reaction. Now we know that rate of the reaction. How do we represent rate of the reaction? Rate of reaction is equal to, in terms of reactant, right, dr upon dt is equal to, now from collision theory, what are the two factors that we have studied? One is this overall, we can all write it z into f, where z represents reacting molecules having, or this z represents the frequency factor, and f, this represents the proper orientation. Okay, so frequency factor means how many reacting molecules having average energy, threshold energy are colliding, and how many are having proper orientation. Okay, so we represent the rate of reaction as minus dr upon dt, or frequency factor multiplied by the reactant molecules having threshold energy and a proper orientation. So these are the postulates of the collision theory. So this is very important. Sometimes they will ask you the postulates of the kinetic theory for 2 marks or for 1 marks, or they will ask write any one postulate of the kinetic theory, or 2 or 3, depending on that you have to write. So very simple one, but very important one is your collision theory. Okay, so in the next class we shall study about the effect of temperature. So far, see, in the second class or on the third class we were studying about factors affecting the rate of the reaction. There we have already discussed about the surface area, how does the surface area will affect the rate of reaction, and how does the radiations will affect the rate of reaction, isn't it? Now we were discussing about the concentration of the reactant. So in this, all these will come, how the concentration of the reactants will affect the rate of reaction. So next we shall study about how does temperature will affect and how does the catalyst will affect the rate of reactions. Thank you.